Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Spanish national team under 23. And most importantly, we are going to give a lot of the spotlight on Fermín López. Everything is going to be organized on the timeline down below. So if you do want to skip straight to the Fermín López conversation, because I do have a lot to say on the player, you guys can so by skipping through the different segments. But first, I do want to speak about the overall game and what did happen and how much of a drama it was to get through this win. And so yes, Spain have won the Olympics in Paris. They were able to defeat France 5-3 after extra time. Keep in mind, Spain won France at their home, so it was not easy. But with the players that Spain have, aka La Masia, they were able to pull off an amazing result. This is considered as Spain's second Olympic gold in men's soccer. It was first won in Barcelona back on 1992. Back in 2021, Spain also won the silver in Tokyo. Fast forward 3 years later, in 2024, they continue to dominate in every way, and especially in other tournaments like the Euro. So Spain have been dominant not just in the Euros, but also in the Olympics. You put any player anywhere for Spain to perform, they will do that for you. As for France, France have won their silver medal for the second time in their history. They previously won a silver medal back in 1900s, and their last Olympic gold medal was won back in 1984 in Los Angeles. So in this game, France did take the early lead, with Enzo scoring the first goal on the 11th minute, making it 1-0. Spain responded, and they responded with Fermín López yet again. Fermín López scored 2 goals within a span of 8 minutes and made it 2-1 just out of nowhere. Once again, we'll talk about Fermín López in a couple of minutes. And then Alex Baena scored a free kick on the 28th minute, making it 3-1. France eventually came back after one of their players on the 79th minute made it 3-2. A couple of minutes later, Mateta converted a penalty kick on stoppage time to make it 3-3, and they had to go through extra time. And then once we got to extra time, it was all Spain. Camello scored 2 goals, one on the 100th minute, making it 4-3, and another one in the final minute of extra time, which was on the 121st minute, to secure the victory 5-3. So it was dramatic, it was intense, it was also aggressive, and Fermín López was the main reason why Spain even started this comeback. And so now let's focus on Fermín López, because now that we do have this whole summer completed, when it comes to the Euros, the top scorer was Dani Olmo. When it comes to the Olympics, the top scorer for the campaign was Fermín López. And let me tell you, Barcelona do have both of these players in their squad, and they're going to be getting topped by Hansi Flick for the first time within these next couple of days, and that's very exciting. Who knows what Hansi Flick could do with these two players? And let me tell you another thing, these two players also play in the exact same positions. In the past 2 weeks, we have been talking about why would it make sense for Dani Olmo to join Barcelona when we have Fermín López, because we also have Gundogan, we also have Pedri. Now I'm starting to believe that slowly, right, Fermín López may become the second option in the number 10 position, and putting players like Pedri and Gundogan in the 3rd to 4th option. Olmo for sure will either see the starting 11 or the second choice on the central attacking midfield position, for sure, because you do not spend 60 million euros on a player and then not play him and make him like the second priority or the second choice within a certain position. There's just no way. Like, Dani Olmo will have some sort of priority, and I think that Olmo will be starting with Fermín López creeping up just right next to Dani Olmo, because Fermín López is just showing too much class, too many goals, too many effectiveness in the final third. And I think that with his profile and the way that he does play, it does align with what Hansi Flick does demand from his players who are aggressive, players who can do one-touch passes to one of the players, having good arrival into the box, making runs into open spaces. Look at the first goal that Fermín López did score against France. It was a pure runner type of goal. Like, this guy was running through the middle, he lost his marker, France had no idea where Fermín López went, and then he eventually met the ball and just shot the ball to the bottom left corner with ease, because it's his natural game. So can you imagine Fermín López's natural game aligning with Hansi Flick's sporting plan? Think about how fluid that's going to end up looking and how efficient it will be. Fermín López can see so many goals under Hansi, because Hansi, like, I think that is confirmed looking at the preseason and what we have done with Barcelona in the first 3 games in the US. We are very direct, we are very vertical. There's no pausa anymore in this Barcelona team. We're vertical, we're efficient, we only want final third passes, through passes, key passes, and that's about it. And we want runners into the box. Fermín López gives you that. Like I've said in the past 6 to 7 videos, I always thought that Hansi Flick was going to end up using Dani Olmo as his main number 10 with Pedri and then Gundogan as his other options, and I had a little nervousness inside me that was thinking about Fermín López and his future and how he's not going to be seeing any minutes, because, like, think about it, if you put Fermín López in 4th position within the central attacking midfield position, right, he's not going to be seeing any minutes, like, at all. Like, Fermín López has to pray for Pedri and Gundogan to get injured so he can see something, but I don't even think that's going to end up happening. Like, we're going to have to go through a huge injury crisis to see Fermín López play, and honestly, I don't even pray for that. Like, it's not worth it. That was one of my biggest complaints, and so I did state that, okay, if Fermín López is going to be overshadowed by our other players, then you might as well just loan him out or just sell him with a buyback clause included to a different club this summer, because you do not let a player like him at his level just rot on the bench. There's just no way. This is not Real Madrid and this is not Manchester City. When you have talent, you want to make sure that you use them. And Fermín López, like, I feel bad for him. I don't want him to see the bench 80% of the time. Like, no, he shows it. Every time he's on the pitch, he scores. He plays his heart out. He's like Gavi, but with goals. Or just figure out something, right? To like put Fermín López on the left wing position or on the striker position, and we'll see, because this guy has just too many goals on him. Like, I think that he has the capability to play within those roles, but we'll see. But going back to what I did say, after witnessing what Fermín did in the Olympics, I no longer think that he will be considered as the fourth option. It is either first or second, and that is scary for someone like Pedri or Gundogan. They're gonna have to show something besides controlling the ball. Gundogan, in my opinion, would be next after Fermín López, because he did bring real goals, real assists last season under Xavi Hernandez. I think it was like 5 goals and 11 assists or 12 assists after 51 matches played. It's amazing. So Fermín López did recently also state that he's not going to be taking any breaks whatsoever. He's going to be taking, yes, like a 6 to 7 day break, but he wants to return as fast as possible. Barcelona did allow for Fermín to get rest of up to 2 weeks, but he's cutting his vacation short. He aims to show Hansi Flick that he deserves a place in the team, and he's very eager to be available for the first game against Valencia, which is why he wants to return as fast as possible. So I do love the determination, the eagerness, the hunger, the fire. He deserves to have continuity at Barcelona and have prominence. And just looking back at his story and what he has done in the past year, keep in mind that Fermín López is a player who came back after a loan spell at Linares. Ever since he came back from that loan move, he shined in the preseason with FC Barcelona back in 2023. Then he signed a new contract with Barcelona. Then he got promoted to the first team. Then he scored in La Liga. Then he won Man of the Match award in La Liga. Then he scored in the Champions League. He won another Man of the Match award in the Champions League. He played for Spain under 21, scored a goal in the Copa del Rey, scored a goal in the Champions League knockout round, scored away at both Madrid clubs, ended the season with 11 goals for Barcelona, made his debut for the Spanish national team in the Euros, got picked up in Spain's Euro and Olympics squad, became the Euro champion, scored 6 goals in the Olympic Games, scored in all KO matches of the Olympics, and won the gold medal at the Olympic Games. So in total, he ended this tournament with 6 goals and 1 assist. The future is so bright for this player, and I cannot wait to see what Hansi Flick has in terms of plans with the player. It's going to be amazing to see. Moving on from that, I also want to give props to Pau Cubarsí. Pau Cubarsí was the youngest football player in the 2024 Olympics. In this game, he had 107 touches, 77 out of 83 passes completed, 5 out of 7 long balls completed, 1 chance created. He was dispossessed 0 times, 1 tackle, 6 blocks, 15 clearances, 7 headed clearances, 3 ball recoveries, 3 out of 4 duels won, 0 fouls committed, and 0 times dribbled past. In the beginning, when the Olympics did first start, he was being made fun of a lot because he awarded a penalty to the opposition and then he got subbed off at halftime. Fast forward a few games later, Cubarsi broke some records and had a tremendous tournament and a great display in the final. And here's the most interesting thing. When I saw Cubarsi play in the way that he did, I'm like, okay, so this guy clearly has it, right? His passes is still so precise. He's still very reliable at the back. For sure, he will be one of the starters for Barcelona this season. But the chemistry that Cubarsi had with Eric García, a player, right, that was supposed to be the Cubarsi today, it was 110% effective. The duo that they formed at the back throughout the Olympics was just so amazing to see. It was reliable, it was efficient, no one could take the ball away from both of those two players, and I'm like, this is exactly what Barcelona need at the back, is 2 center backs who are highly technical. And the fact that Eric García might slowly make his comeback, it gets me very excited, because it makes you think, right, like, what if the future of Barcelona's defensive football does contain Eric García and Cubarsi? They started in every match together and they played 110% of the semifinals and the finals. It goes to show that the Spanish national team were relying on those 2 center backs. And Eric García recently just confirmed that he is going to be staying at Barcelona for the upcoming season. He did state, and I quote, "I will stay at Barcelona and play there next season. It is 100%. And then he spoke about Cubarsi and he stated, "Cubarsi and I have a very good relationship from day one. I'll be training with Barcelona on Sunday. I'm looking forward to training with Flick. I'm feeling good about the messages we have exchanged between ourselves," which basically states that Hansi Flick is saying, hey, Eric García, I trust in you. I know that you had a tough time at Barcelona in the first 2 to 3 years, but here I trust you and I want to work with you because I do think that you give us a solution at the back. And so I would love to see the return of Eric García, because let's remember, Eric García was once being highly rated by Pep Guardiola and also Xavi Hernandez. They both wanted the player. Eric García is also a La Masia player and he went to City back in 2017, but it does seem like he's very eager to succeed with this brand new sporting project that we are building. So do you see a backline that exists between Eric García and Cubarsi that does not have players like Christensen and Ronald Araujo in it? I mean, who knows? Maybe Hansi Flick is looking at Cubarsi, looking at Eric García and saying, you know what, these 2 players players can not only play in the center back positions, but they can also play in the CDM role because their passes are reliable. So I'm just happy because most of the players, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but most of the players that we have talked about in this final so far has mainly been about La Masia players, because 7 of the players in the 11 that we fielded today against France were from La Masia. So the Barcelona Academy is working more than ever, benefiting both the Spanish national team and Barcelona. I already told you guys, there's like this other gold rush that is happening right now. Like, we haven't even begun talking about Bernal and Casado, 2 other players that might actually make it into the 11 very soon. So it is a very good time to be a Barcelona fan. And I just want to also add this thing in here, right? Notice how I did state that Casado and Marc Bernal do have a future with the club, and Hansi Flick really does trust in those 2 players. I say that because Frenkie de Jong might actually be the player that could leave this summer. It has been stated, according to Mateo Moreto, that Frenkie de Jong could be allowed to leave Barcelona for a fee of around 60 million euros plus variables. Again, I just want to add this in here because I think that this is the beginning of a brand new saga for Frenkie de Jong. We could see an exit of Frenkie within these next couple of weeks. It has also been said that the main priority for Barcelona, Joan Laporta and Deco right now is exits. They have already solidified who's going to be staying, like for example, Eric García, Pau Cubarsí, maybe even Michael Faye, and one of the players that they do definitely want to let go of is Frenkie de Jong for a good amount. And I think that the sale of Frenkie is what's going to allow for Barcelona to hopefully make another player arrival that could bring a lot of experience to the club. So we'll talk about Frenkie de Jong and his potential sale in a different video. I just want to basically make this video for us to celebrate and to enjoy what La Masia has been producing and how successful the Spanish national team does look. Every time we do see a strong Spain, we see a strong Barcelona. When we see a strong Barcelona, we do see a strong Spain. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.